Alright guys, I was walking through here and just look at this monster Copters, these two right here. I've seen Monster X before at previous shows, but George,
Hey,
pleasure meeting you.
Great to meet you, Chris.
Thanks for taking the time to stop and talk to me about this thing. I was talking to you a little bit before we just went on camera, and you guys really are selling the frames of
Yes.
these Copters. You're not worrying about all the other stuff.
No, we put together a frame design that will work with certain components that we know work well, and we recommend like the Hobby Wing 150 or 120 amp ESCs, Seacraft retracts, and the T motor U7s or U10s. You can use them with other motors and other stuff, but this is what we would use, so this is what I recommend personally.
That's very good products to recommend because they're some of the best on the market. And when you're flying something like this, you don't want to go cheap and unproven stuff.
Not to mention the certain ESCs that we like to use, they have tabs for mounting, unlike a lot of other ESCs which are just heat shrunk. You've got them all wrapped up inside this plastic. They get warmer quicker. These have very large heat sinks and a lot of power reserve for drastic situations, pulling out of something,
And you need a lot of power to reserve for something this heavy.
Yes.
So what is, if let's say they built this particular setup, what's our lifting capacities?
I wouldn't go any more than 25 pounds payload. There is more headroom in the motors, but you want to err on the side of caution. Besides, at this point, a Red, a Ronin is what most people are flying on the top end, and that's I think it was a 19-pound combination. So unless if you want to fly an Ari Alexa or something like that, you're gonna have to do something like this. But this will basically carry almost anything. And with the smaller cameras, we get 25 minutes in the air. But with aggressive flying, we've seen this do easily 75 miles an hour. But we know it'll do 80, 90-ish. And most of it has to do with the stiffness of the frame. It is a very, very, very stiff frame. These are slightly larger tubes made by a quality manufacturer here in the U.S. and two-piece motor mounts that are made out of aluminum, and they're very stiff. So they don't have a lot of the give and play that the multi-piece motor mounts have. Not to mention, we also use drilled screws like a real airplane, and you can put your wire through them and lock them in place, and they won't vibrate out. And that's the same for the motors as well.
That's very clever and very much needed. That's not needed. That's not available on a lot of other things.
It's just one of the safety things that we're trying to incorporate into our units, and we have some more stuff coming. But obviously, we're a small company, so it's going to take a little while to get some things out there. But watch the space.
Watch it. Watch it. Now on this setup here, you just sell the frames. Know that. Is there a retail price that you guys sell these to around?
Roughly around the $3,000 mark for the frames.
For the frames?
They're not cheap as far as frames go, but these are, in my mind, the most well thought out. There's a lot going on in here to keep everything organized and, reduce wire chafes. And they're also the strongest frames you can get right now. I've challenged everybody here to try bend the arms or even break them, and no one's been successful yet. So.
And he told me earlier that he got Roswell flight test crew to come in and try to do them too. Couldn't do it. But yes, you are right. This is a very well thought out frame. You have the holes for your wires instead of them coming around, getting chafed. Your ESCs are up. Your aluminum. It's a well thought out machine, and it caught my eye as soon as I walked by from it. Now this monster, if for anyone who wants to get super crazy, this thing is just insane. Look at these props. Look at this motor, bigger than my palm. What were you thinking designing something like this?
Well, truthfully, this frame, center section, and motor mounts are the same as this one over here, except for we went a lot stiffer on the booms. This is about as stiff as we can go with a boom in this size without them becoming brittle. But the end result is a very, very, very stiff set of arms. There is some deflection in them, but we've eliminated as much as possible. While this isn't an aggressive flyer, this is more of an efficiency heavy lift. So you want to put a Red and a Ronin on here, you may get 40 minutes of flight time. Lighter combinations. By the numbers, I see it pushing maybe an hour in the air with smaller cameras. Also, we can go shorter on the arms. It doesn't have to be quite this big, but this was just more of a just to show everyone, even at this length, we've created a very stiff setup, and much bigger props are capable on a frame like this.
Which you don't really see that much in the market getting to this size. That's super crazy, and there are companies out there that do it.
Yeah,
we know about them, but
there's some good guys out there. You got a lot of heavy lift builders. There's a lot of stuff you don't see at these shows. People, some people keep their stuff to themselves. You might see it on Instagram or something like that. But we just decided that we were going to release what we knew into a frame kit to the public and see if they liked it.
And coming from, I'm not a super heavy lift guy, but we have put heavy lifts things in the air, and this setup is well thought out and it looks awesome. I appreciate your time.
Thanks a lot, Chris.
Thank you.